She is a celebrity coach, an expert on the law of attraction and energy. A two-time New York best-selling author, she has appeared on the Today Show, been in People magazine, and numerous other media and publications. She has certified more than 3,000 life coaches. Wow, that's a lot. And her fourth book, The Desire Factor, will be released on April 21st, 2021. She's married and a boy mom, just like me, a boy mom. And I'm excited to have our next guest on. We're going to watch a quick video about her and we'll come right back.
Something deep within me always knew that limits feel bad, and so does lack. And the reason for this is because lack and limitation is not the truth of who we are.
Just keep breathing and breathing and breathing and breathing.
The doorway into abundance, because if you look at it from a spectrum, there's one side that's lack, one side is abundance. The doorway into that is coming from a place of being sufficient, being satisfied.
We're the only ones that can choose our thoughts. We're the only ones that can choose and experience our emotions. And what we are sending out to the universe is going to come back. When you're controlling, it's like you're so restrictive instead of being allowing.
Quantum success is a combination of taking alignment, getting aligned with what you want, how you want to feel, what, positive thoughts, the things that you say, being positive. So everything being in alignment with what you do want to create, and then taking action steps from there.
The combination really is aligning your thoughts, your feelings, what you say, what you do with what you want and the vision that you want to have, and what even contrast what you don't want to change into.
Welcome, Christy Whitman. It's so nice to have you on the show. I have been researching you and finding everything out about, your website, and oh my gosh, I cannot believe how much stuff you have done. And I just love the stuff about the law of attraction and healing and energy, and can't wait to talk to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pam. I'm so grateful to be here with you.
I know you're from the beautiful city of Scottsdale, Arizona. What a great place to be for, everything that you're doing as a coach and being able to be out there in nature. I would love for you just to share, with our viewers a little bit about yourself.
So I've been doing this work for 25 years. When I say this work, meaning, transformation, personal development work. And long story short, I found myself 25 years ago. I was, successful at a young age. I graduated from college, found myself, getting married, and had a really great career, and all these things going the way that it was supposed to, all the measurements of success. And I was miserable. I was totally unfulfilled. And if you ever have been told that it's all these things that make you happy, and then you do all these things and you're not happy, it's really disheartening. So I really started searching for what is happiness? How do I become happy? And I also had another thing happen in my life. My sister, who was my older sister, who was 11 years older than me, she committed suicide. And so even beyond my own dissatisfaction in my life, I didn't want to end up like her. And so I dove in, just learning about spirituality and learning about energy and learning how to master my mind. And I'm so grateful I did, because it's been 25 years, and about 5 years into practicing and implementing this into my own life, everything changed in my life, and really found for the first time a sense of peace, a sense of fulfillment. And that's when I became an author 20 years ago. And when my first book came through me, I got it published, and I started speaking on the contents, and people started asking me to coach. And again, 20 years ago, I didn't have a frame of reference for what a coach was, but I loved the process of doing it. And so I started doing it nights and weekends as I was, still working as a pharmaceutical rep. And I just had so much passion and purpose for it that I followed it until in 2007, I went into business for myself as a full-time coach. And then I had people asking me, I want to do what you do. I want to help other people. Will you certify me? And then that's how I came through with the certifications in 2008, started certifying coaches, and I'm still doing that to this day.
Wow, that's a great journey. People always hear about that word law of attraction, and vortex and energy and healing. And it is amazing how it does take something to change your life. In October 2019, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And ever since then, I have been First of all, I received some of these amazing gifts, like a rock that says healing on it. I received crystals for healing, spiritual bracelets to wear. And I've always been a spiritual faith, person of faith, but really didn't know what all that meant until somebody, they were sending me these gifts. And then I really, really got into it, here in the last almost year and a half. And so to read about you and everything that you're doing, I just find it really enlightening, and couldn't wait to talk to you about how you help other people.
Yeah, so I really help people pay attention to their energy by becoming an energy master. And if you really understand, like, what is energy, it's like we're physical and we're non-physical. We know this from modern science now and quantum physics, that everything is energy, including us. And we have trillions and trillions of cells in our physical body that require energy. If we don't have energy, we're not alive. And so our bodies need to bring in energy. And when we understand that we are energy receivers, that we're energy containers, we're always holding energy, and that we're also transmitting out energy, then we can understand that what we transmit out literally is reflected back to us through law of attraction. And so when we understand how to deliberately and consciously choose what frequencies that we're sending out, because what we send out comes back by law of attraction, then we become masterful of our lives. And so when I say transmit out, it's like we're sending out signals all day, every day. And we do that by the words that we speak and the thoughts that we think and the perspectives that we hold, the beliefs that we hold, the emotions that we either feel or don't, and then the actions that we take. And that's the exciting thing, is that if we create our entire lives based on our consciousness, and those are the 5 aspects of consciousness, we're in control. We're the ones that have influence over what we create in our bodies, in our finances, in our careers, in our relationships, and every single aspect of our lives. We can't control another person's consciousness, nor can anybody control our consciousness. And that when we understand that everything is energy, and that all energy carries a vibration, and that vibration goes out into the universe and literally calls to itself, attracts to itself more of what it is, like attracts like, then we can be deliberate and really decide, what do we want to create in our life.
I know, like I mentioned earlier, just starting, I wish I would have started in my 20s. I wish I would have known this, when I was 20, 30, 40, and instead of right now, but I guess it's better to start now. Better late than never, right? But,
absolutely.
You're so true with the positive energy. I remember going out during my, chemo and treatments and stuff, and just being in the sun and having that energy. And people were like, Pam, you are so positive going through this. And, I started, reading and then doing the meditation and then finding the videos, and it just mind over matter of how some people can be so positive and negative, and how much it impacts our health. I'm sure, you've helped a lot of women, that how important that is, of, like you said, how much the words really matter. I'll just say one more thing, about going through the treatment. My mom would always say, don't say you're going to go get chemo, go say you're going to go to the spa. And I was amazed of how much that changed my attitude. So I know you've come up with, don't you have a list of how words can change your thoughts?
Absolutely. So for years, people would say, well, how do you take I talk about the 7 essential laws. How do you take these 7 essential laws that are so esoteric, we're talking about energy, and bring it down into practical steps that someone can apply in their lives? And the first thing I said is, you have to watch your words, and words have creative power. And when you start paying attention to something like your words, you actually start paying attention to the wholeness of who you are and what you think, what you feel. So it's a starting point for us to really become more conscious of our consciousness. And when we understand that there are words that we say, people say them all day, every day, but they pull our energy down in lack, and lack never feels good. So when we're saying these words, it pulls down our energy, it collapses our energy field, it keeps us, not expanding into potentiality, and therefore we don't create what we want. So I created a program called Watch Your Words. It's a 30-day video program that every day you get a video. The videos are between 2 and 4 minutes in length. And all the videos share what is the word of the day, word or phrase, to eliminate from your vocabulary and why, and then what to say instead. So I'll give a quick example. When everything happened with COVID and everything shut down, people were saying, from athletes to celebrities to next door neighbors to even my own kids, I miss getting a pedicure. I miss going and playing soccer. I miss seeing my friends. I miss going out for dinner. And when you're saying I miss something, there's the perception that you're missing out, right? You're in lack of. And lack never feels good. It always feels bad. But you can communicate the same thing, and by shifting your language, by saying, I look forward to. So I even had a moment where I really got to practice this. I remember, it had been weeks and weeks since, I think even a month since the restaurants in Arizona were closed down. And I had this moment of like, oh, I really miss having a date with my husband. And I went, wait, no, I don't want to say that. I look forward to having a date with my husband. And then because I was in this expanded place of what I looked forward to, I thought to myself, I really look forward to the restaurants opening up so I can go on a date with my husband, and then it became, I involved him. Hey, hun, when all the restaurants open up, what restaurant of all the amazing restaurants that we have here, what restaurant would you want to go to? And then he and I started creating. And then it was like, ooh, do we want to go just ourselves? Do we want to invite another couple? And if we do want to invite another couple, who do we want to go with? So it became this like thing that we became, our energy started flowing. We started feeling excited about the possibility. And then I took it to the next level and I was like, ooh, what am I going to wear? What shoes am I going to put with it? It became something that when the restaurants opened, I was able to make a reservation, contacted my cousin or her husband, went to an amazing dinner, had the outfit. We had an amazing evening. And I appreciated that dinner far more than I had ever appreciated a dinner before. Because when you have the perception that something is lost and you change your perception to something that you're looking forward to, you really come to a sense of appreciation. And appreciation and gratitude is energy that is expansive. It's creative. It allows us to flow into more of what we do want.
I love that. I'll have to remember that. I know every morning, like I mentioned, I start off by, and I just started doing this too, but taking some of your advice and writing it down in the law of attraction and the vision and creating all that. And it is amazing how that works. And also wanted to find out, I know you said, we're both moms, we're both boy moms, and you say that women can have it all. And I really believe that too, with balance, but I know, you really speak on it. So I'd like to hear more about that.
Yeah, I wrote a book on it. So I wrote the book, The Art of Having It All. And the reason I wrote that book, Pam, is because I remember I was at a media summit and I was going around and talking to parts of the media. And I walked up to a woman that was a freelance writer for New York Magazine. And I thought, ooh, I've got the perfect picture for her. And I said, what do all New York women want? And she said, what? And I said, they want it all. And she's right there said to me, women can't have it all. They're overworked. They got too much going on. They've got to pick either work or family. And I'm thinking, what are we in the 40s and the 50s? I'm thinking, what? I mean, I was blown away. And she sat there and argued for the limitations of women. And so I had handed her at one point my one sheet, my information. And she gave it back to me. She goes, I will not be needing this because I don't believe women can have it all. And I looked at her and I said, therein lies the problem. Because if you believe something to be true, your beliefs create your reality. And she even asked me, she goes, do you know anybody that has it all? And I said, yeah, I do. And a lot of my clients do. But we don't all define having it all in the same way. Having it all is really having all the aspects of your life running on, full cylinders. To be able to look at each aspect of your life and say, I love my life. And not all having it all is the same. And when you think about it, I bet what you wanted in your 20s and what you wanted in your 30s and what you wanted in your 40s was different. I know for me, my having it all in my now, fifth decade, I just turned 50, is different than what I wanted in my 40s and what I wanted in my 30s and what I wanted in my 20s. It changes and evolves as we do. And so who is anybody to tell anybody what they can or cannot have? We have the ability to create our lives by what we desire. And that's why my new book, The Desire Factor, is like, we need to allow our desires that come through us to expand us. We become more of who we are when we follow and flow with them. And if we deny or suppress our desires, we don't grow, we don't expand. We're not living our life to the fullest. And so by listening to the calls of the desires, by knowing that we have the potential and the probability and the inevitability to literally create it with our energy, with our divine partner, our lives become having it all. But we get to create it. We get to define it. We get to decide what it's going to be or not going to be.
I agree with that 100%. And, as women and moms and hustle and bustle and like you said, talking about your sister, sometimes it changes. It's something like that is so life-changing. And, my life was changed too. And I am living more in the present and day to day. And it's amazing how much that has calmed the anxiety. I know you talk about, I love seeing on your Instagram, your pictures out there being in beautiful Arizona and Sedona and being out there in nature. I make it a point every single day to get out and walk. And now I have like a pet turtle on a rock. And I'm like, what is that meaning? Why do I keep seeing that turtle? And I know you share a lot about being out in nature and the vortex, about, how that can really have an impact on your life too.
Yeah, we're in pure potentiality when you're in nature. It's one of those aspects that when we can really understand and be in communion with nature, because nature really has evidence of abundance. And when you can look at a sunset, there's something so magnificent of witnessing a sunset. This morning, my husband and I took our dog for a walk, and there was a hummingbird, and the hummingbird was just like floating above us and literally just dancing with us. And I sat there in just awe for a good 2-3 minutes, watching this hummingbird zip and zip and zip, and it came right to us, and it was like it was playing with us. There's something so expansive and so life-giving about a moment like that of nature, about witnessing a sunrise or a moonrise or a sunset, or being in the red rocks of Sedona. And when you can look at that and become really unified with it, you can see the evidence of abundance. When you look on a starry night and you see all the stars in the sky, we can't even possibly count all of them because they're abundant. When you look at leaves on a tree, you can't count all the leaves because it's abundant. Or going to the ocean's edge and, hearing the waves crash. There's evidence of abundance. And there's something about that gets us back in tune with our own abundant nature, because we too are abundant. We have trillions and trillions of cells. Our minds can't even grasp how many cells we have in our body, what we're made of, and how many breaths we take a day, how many times our heart beats. It's all evidence of abundance. And as we attune, as we align with the truth of abundance, that becomes our belief, that becomes our reality. And our lives are just a reflection of that extension of who we really are. And that is abundant.
I think that's one exactly one positive thing about the pandemic is people have had the opportunity to, learn more about themselves by staying home and getting out in nature. And so it has it's been a good change for a lot of people. I wanted to ask you, with everything that you've done, what remains on your bucket list?
Well, there's still a lot of places I would love to travel to. Like I would love to go to Austria and, places like that. I still have a lot more impact that I would love to make and a lot more people to help heal. I channel the council, and so there's a lot of people that could really use their healing words and their healing processes to help them get back in touch with their well-being and their abundance and their ability to create and their loving and improving their relationships, all relationships. So there's still a lot more that I am excited to live my life. And I think being a mom, right, witnessing my kids, seeing how they apply themselves and let the greatness that's in them show up. I mean, it's such an honor to raise two amazing human beings like my Alex and Max, and then get to watch what they do with it. And I'm just getting a front row seat to it now, and it's really quite beautiful and it's fun.
Oh, that's great. I know your new book is coming out on April 21st. That's my husband's birthday. So,
Happy birthday.
The Desire Factor. So really look forward to picking up that book with all of your valuable information. How can our viewers, reach out to you? Are you offering are you offering any retreats out in Arizona?
Not right now, because everything is still pretty much closed down, but I do a lot of virtual events and healing events. And if you go to thedesirefactor.com and you pre-order the book, right now you get 3 processes from the council that are just like immediate, that will help you get in alignment with success and your desires, that whatever they may be. And then when the book actually comes out, you get a 4-week coaching session with myself and the council in May. And so, that's like a $900 value for buying a $15 book. So these are, courses that you get to take just by buying the book. So that starts in May, and you can do it virtually with me.
That's great. I'll be sure to post that on my 80,000 plus social media. But I know we could sit here and talk all day. Would love to continue. We'll have to have you back on, continue the conversation, because like I said, I'm just learning and reading so much about it, and it really, really does work. So thanks a lot, Christy, for being on the show today. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Pam, for having me and what you do to impact other people's lives. And I'm so glad to hear that you're healthy and happy.
Thank you.